Hi there, it's Mary with Mary's Stamping Cafe. Thanks for stopping in at my Saturday Stamping uploaded video. I am here today to tell you that it is a perfect time to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. It is Sale-A-Bration time just for a few more days, and there's a great joining special. And you know, if you're an avid stamper like me, you're thinking, oh my goodness, what could I put into a starter kit? I have so many things. Well, I've put together the perfect starter kit for you, avid stamper, where you've got lots of supplies, but I have the fabulous, marvelous markers, the many marvelous markers by Stampin' Up! This is a fabulous case that holds 41 of Stampin' Up's colors for you to do all sorts of great techniques in coloring. Now, these are water-based markers. They are dual tipped. Let me show you what I mean. So they have the brush tip here, and then they have the pen point here. Great for some different control when you are coloring. They also are water-based, and when you store them in your case, they are laying perfectly like this so that ink stays in that central part of the barrel, giving you ink evenly at both ends. Just a great thing. So when you purchase the Many Marvelous markers, you get this whole set of markers, 41. You get 10 each of the 4 color groups, and you get a basic black marker as well. I love this. Then you also have a little bit of extra room in your case that you can put some of the in colors that come out, and you can store them in your case as well. It is a fabulous case full of wonderful, wonderful markers. I'm going to be using those today to create some fabulous cards with you. And my thought is, why not share with you a perfect starter kit? You get to choose $175 of product for $99. Yes, that's what I said. $175 of products for $99. So I've got a few things together that I thought would be perfect that I would put in a starter kit for myself, being an avid stamper. So I'm going to set my case aside for a moment. And then we always will need, when you're going to be coloring, you need some open line stamps. And I think the Eclectic Garden is a fabulous stamp set to use your Stampin' Right markers with. It's smaller areas, and I love using my Stampin' Right markers for smaller areas where I feel like my stamping blends. I like to use my stamping blends, my alcohol-based markers, when they're larger open images to color, and I love my Stampin' Right markers for a little bit smaller coloring ends. Now, with that, we have a fabulous product called our note cards and envelopes. The note cards and envelopes are fantastic. You can get them in basic white or very vanilla. You get 20 note cards and envelopes, and that is fabulous. I absolutely love note card size. They're so perfect. I'm also using today the Regency Park beautiful designer series paper. It is a beautiful paper, two-sided designs. Love, 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 love. It is a 6x6 designer series paper pack, and it's the January to April mini. What I really love about this, it kind of gets that wonderful spring and summery colors, and it will go so well with the Eclectic Garden here. Another thing that I'm using is this beautiful Painted Posies embossing folder. And the Painted Posies are so pretty, and let me just show you, because I've already put through the embossing folder just so you can see how beautiful those look. Just so pretty. And so I'm going to be using that as well. So what's really interesting, if we take the Eclectic Garden $23 stamp set, and we have our beautiful $10 3D embossing folder of our Painted Posies, and then our Many Marvelous markers is $123. It's just a fabulous, fabulous way to get towards your $175. I have a link below that has a link to my blog where you can check out my starter kit that I think would be fabulous to get you going as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I would love for you to join my team. All right, so let's take a look. I've got my beautiful note cards, but what I've done is I've already stamped out my images, the 4 images from the Eclectic Garden. Now, the Eclectic Garden is a 2-step stamp because you have these right here that you can use and stamp in a color and put them right on top there. Take this here and do it right here. And so it's not to be that idea about this 2-step stamp. It's not like going to line up perfectly. It's kind of going to have that little bit of a messy look to it, which is great. But what I want to do here is I'm going to be doing a little bit of coloring with you and talking about techniques with the Many Marvelous markers. So I'm going to start here with our beautiful bird, and I'm simply going to be coloring. And I'll take my thick point and just color with my marker. Now my marker is, again, it's a water-based marker, and I'm using the pen point, and I don't need to push down hard at all. The color I'm using here is Pear Pizzazz. And I'm just going to kind of go in here a little quickly. And I'm going to show you how I can get a little bit deeper color happening. As you think about, well, with my Stampin' Write markers, won't they kind of just be one tone? Whereas when you're using Stampin' Blends, you can kind of blend and get some highlights and lowlights and things like that. Well, you can do the same thing here with our Many Marvelous markers. So I'm going to bring my markers in, and I'm going to go for a darker green. I'm going to bring in maybe a little bit richer green here. I'm going to grab my garden green, or yeah, my garden green here. And I'm going to use my pen tip. And I'm going to come in just over top of my Pear Pizzazz and just give some a little bit deeper, darker. I'm going to bring that pen in a little bit deeper and darker in some spots where it maybe be a little bit more shaded. And there we go. You can see I've got some deeper colors, some lighter colors, just coloring with my markers. You know, some of the most satisfying things when we were kids was coloring. Now, when I come to an area like this, that's kind of a small area, I can use the pen part of my Stampin' Write marker. And then I can switch on over to my marker point for that little bit. There we are. And then I would love this to be a bit of a balmy blue. Oh, I love that bright balmy blue. And I'm going to give my bird some beautiful balmy blue. And then I think I might go with kind of a yellow underbelly. There we are. And I'll go with a really soft underbelly. Let's see. Maybe I'll go with my, yeah, we'll give him a beautiful soft seafoam underbelly. That's pretty. There we are. And then we'll give him a beautiful beak. I'll go with a pale papaya beak. Use that nice rich color on the pen tip end. And I'm going to also use this color for his little claws there. And there we are, done. Just a nice coloring straight away with our Stampin' Write markers. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to pull in, I think I'm going to pull in the radishes. And then I'm going to pull in a marker. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Pear Pizzazz and color on my block. And then I'm going to bring in that garden green that I used earlier, and I'm also going to color that on the block. Then I'm going to bring in my stamping blender pen. Now, Stampin' Up! Sells these blender pens in a pack of 3. Fabulous. And these blender pens are just a solution that you can use with your watercolor pencils, or you can pick the color up with the blending pen, almost like an aqua painter, a water painter. And what's really great about this, you're going to get a concentration of color, and then it's going to fade out as the liquid runs out of that color that you've picked up. And that's how I love this looking like a watercolor effect, because you're going to get these deeper sections, and then it's going to lighten up as you go further in coloring without lifting up. You can see how that then runs out. And so all I do is run this along my paper to clean it, but I'm going to pick up this and I'm going to come down in these areas where the kind of the rind and the center of each of the lettuce leaves there, or the radish leaves I should say, are. And then see how that's just really pretty. It looks like it's been watercolored. I love that. Now I want to bring in a little bit of the reds now. And I'm going to go with a pretty deep, deep color. Oh, I don't want Cajun Craze. No, no, no. I'm going to go with, yes, I think I would like to go with Merry Merlot. So I'm just going to clean this off. And I'm going to come in with the Merry Merlot. Now this is going to be quite dark. It's a very deep dark color, but I can pull it on here. I can even rub a little bit off, and then I can bring it back in. And now getting that color of that beautiful rich color that's going to be the radishes. Now see what happens as they start getting lighter and lighter as I go and use that color, and it runs out. I am using a thick basic white. When you use your Stampin' Right markers, a thick basic white or a shimmer white is going to hold up best, because you are using this fluid. It does wet your paper, and I want these underneath to be darker, and then of course these will be lighter. And we'll do the little tendrils here. Very fun. Then let's go ahead and give it a nice little blue. And now this I'm just going to do right on. I'm not going to use my board at all. I'm just going to give it a little tie here. There we are. And so look how fun those radishes are. You've got the deeper color in the back and the lighter at front. And my Stampin', my blender pens can do that for me. All right. So I'm going to go back with just some straight in coloring for this guy. How smooth and nice the Stampin' Right markers are. And again, they are water-based. So when I stamped my images, I used a black Stays-On pad. The Stays-On pad is a permanent black ink, and that's what I used because when you use the blender pens, again, it is a fluid, and so you will wet your paper Just getting some shading in on these again. You don't want the ink to bleed. And if you use a Memento ink pad, you maybe will have that trouble a little bit. So there we are. And then these berries, oh, I just love this idea with the berries. What color berries do I want today? I am going to go with, I would like to go with a really bold blueberry. Pacific Point could be a great color. Let's see. Those are beautiful. That is a beautiful color. So I'm going to go with this color. It's so beautifully dark. Our beautiful blueberries. But what I want to do is I want to have some differing color. So that technique we did earlier, I'll go ahead and pull this in and grab my blender pen. Make sure it's clean there. Pick that up, and then I can come in and I can get some differing colors. Even with that same Pacific Point, it's not as concentrated as on with just the pen. And so I can get some varying colors there. That's perfect. Just perfect. Love it. We got some great little berries there. Last one now. All right. I am going to go with our fabulous artichoke here. My Pear Pizzazz Green has been a perfect color choice, I think. It's not too dark of a color. And one of the things with the Stampin' Right markers, your inks will be very concentrated on the pens, just as they would be with the stamp pad. So if you want to change that a little bit, you would go ahead and use that trick with your blender pens. And now this beautiful artichoke. I'm going to come in with actually with this Sahara sand first. I know that seems a little strange, because then I'm going to come in with my Daffodil Delight. And get it going in the center here. And then I'm going to go right over top of that Sahara sand and give it even a deeper look. That would be kind of a natural look on that artichoke. And you can see how that's done there, like that. So then I'll bring my Garden Green marker back in. I'm going to do a little bit of shading here, where I think it would get some shading and be a little bit darker. Just giving it some of that texture, and there we are. Now I can come back in with my Sahara sand as well, and I could deepen up some of these outer pieces if I wanted to. Layering is great. You just want to let those layers dry in between, which I'm not, so you got to be a little careful, but you'll definitely want to do that. There we are. So beautiful there. Now the only thing I need to do at this point is I need to die cut out or punch out my images, and I'm going to show you another fun technique I like to do with these markers. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate that. So I brought in some things. I brought in my stylish shapes, stitch so sweetly, my layering circles and layering ovals. How fun is that? So I was thinking for my radishes, I could do this one right here. For the blueberries, I thought, well, let's see, no. Let's use a different die for that. Set that aside. Let's go with our stylish shapes. And for our blueberries, this is the one I would want for that. Now this beautiful one, I think I want to go with the ovals. Let's take a look at this oval right here. I think I would like to try the scallop. That's a little too small. I feel like that's a little too big. I'm going to go with that one. It's not going to have any decoration around the outside. And then this one here, I think also I want to go with an oval, but I think I want to go ahead with the stitched oval like that. All right. Now I could do some layering of those ovals as well and put another color piece behind, but I'm not going to do that today. All right. Well, I'm going to grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine so I can die cut those out. Now, the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is one of the choices. You have 3 options when you put a starter kit together. You can do the $179 for $129, and you would be also getting one of the mini machines. You could do the mini boho blue, or you can do the standard basic white machine. If you don't want to do the machines, because if you're an avid stamper like me, you already have die cutting systems. Now I'm putting my plates offsetting so they're not lined up perfectly. One is in front of the other, so this rolls through easily. So there's the bird. Very pretty. So that's all set. Then I'll grab the artichoke and we'll get the artichoke through. This paper is a little bit too wide, so I have to go ahead and tear some out to get the artichoke. There we are, same thing. I'll have my top plate come back a little bit from the front plate and easily goes right through the machine. There's my artichoke. Then next we'll do the beautiful radishes, and if I'm not mistaken, yes, that is also paper's too wide, and I've got to be careful so that I still have my rectangle to go around my radishes, and I hope I didn't do that too small. Oh, I did not. It's perfect. Okay. Whew. But it's a little crooked, so I'm gonna have to do that because I want my radishes to be on there straight, not crooked. So again, I'm gonna offset my plates so it rolls right through. Now the mini machine does die cut out a huge percentage of Stampin' Up! Dies, which is fantastic. I love taking my mini when I go on some retreats. Got 3 and now almost 4. And these cards are going to go together so quickly when I have these things done here. And don't go, I have another one technique to show you with the Stampin' Right markers. So don't leave. Oh, and I love the stitched shapes. The stylish shapes. Oh, I love them because all of them have the little stitch shapes going around, the stitches going around, every shape that it has, so I love that. Okay, well, let's clean up our mess here. We've got all our die cutting done. Ready to just put our cards together now and show you one more technique with the Stampin' Right marker. So what I have done is I went ahead and I die cut out, I embossed out for the front of each of the note cards. I don't like to emboss right on the note card or right on the front of the card because I don't like to see it on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of this note card. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to put it right onto the note card because it's the same size. And so it'll be perfect. And then we'll go here, put it down. Now this one is going to be going horizontal just like this. And let me show you what I've done. Here's another one where I put it in vertically, and so it's going the whole height of the card. It is just stunning. There we are. And then I have one where I offset it and just have part of it going onto this layer, and this part is open. That gives some three different varieties of the cards so they're not all looking the same. I think it's so fun. All right. And then I have one that I'm not going to use that at all with. All right. So now I said I was going to be using the beautiful papers here. So what I wanted to do here is this first one, I wanted to put a strip here, but I wanted to think about what strip would I want to use for that. And I've got this beautiful monochromatic one just with the blues. So pretty. And when you turn it over, you've got the fun polka dots here. So I thought this polka dot one would be really, really fun. So I'm going to use this side. And this is going to come right along the edge here on that open part that I did not emboss at all. There we are. Now I thought this one would go really well with the blueberry. I just thought that would be really fun. So I'm going to have this blueberry coming just like so. Or do I want the bird? I think the bird is really pretty here too. Oh, it's so hard to decide. It's so hard to decide. If I bring this one here, do I want the blueberry here maybe? I think that's how I want to go with it. And then this one here. What I would want to do though is I would want to do a little bit of sponging around. So I'm going to grab my blending brushes and bring those over. Now I want to show you that Stampin' Up! Has a carrier for their blending brushes. It just sits right on your table like so. It's great. Now, problem is, I do not have any ink pads out here. So let me just go ahead and use my marker again with my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color all on here. Then I simply I'm going to grab one of the mini blending brushes, and I'm going to grab that ink right from there. And I'm going to then go ahead right around. And we'll get some more on there. There we are. And around I go. gonna sit right like that. I'm gonna use dimensionals to bring this and put it down. Whenever I have large ovals, I go ahead and I use several. I put one in that center because we do not want that to sink down and dip down in the center. I really do want a little more of that. On my oval. There we are. I'm going to change that a little bit so it really stands out. There we are. You can see how it stands out a little more, just like so. Very cute. We'll go ahead and get each of the cards done here how we want to use them. Very pretty, but I am going to take this piece right here and I'm going to use our punch. Love this guy. And I'm going to slide it in and get a little bit of this fun end on it. I'm going to have it just like that coming out, and it's going to stop right there. Just love to accent with this designer series paper. It gives so much more. So I said that was going to come out to about right there, didn't I? And you see that fun little scallop edge on it. It's not hugely noticeable, but it's a great little accent to do. Then we'll go ahead and trim this. Perfect. Not really perfect. Oh, because I have my wrong scissors. That's why. All right. Now I'm going to use dimensionals on this one too. Going to give 5 on this one as well. You want to support the center. Oh, these are so hard to come off these days. What is going on? Stampin' dimensionals. I put them on every order I make. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. And then my blueberry's going to sit right here. Just fabulous. I love that. Just that accent of a little, and then all that texture you're getting from that beautiful painted posies. Love it. Love, love, love it. And then this one, I'm going to go with the artichoke. And I'm going to come in with my strips again. This time I'm going to use the ones with the yellow again. I was wondering about this one, but I don't think so. What I'd like to do is I would like to punch again. Hello. That end like so. Then I'm going to come and get another one. About the same size. Let's go ahead and make these about the same size. Let's get this one in there. Reason why I'm using this strip, because it also has the yellow in there, and I have these very small, so they're not easy to get in and out of there. I'm going to have them coming in like so, and this is going to lay over top and get those fun flowers behind them like so. but I think I want one more. So let's take this one. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, I think I was doing it on this one. Trim it there, and then I'm going to trim it here to be a little thinner, like these. But these are not that thin. I want them thinner, 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 thinner. Just freehanding now. That's okay. A little thinner. There we go. So I'm going to have one. So let's just put them down. This is something you can do that takes away that need of having another oval layer behind. But I wanted to show you something. This was that trick I was going to show. Oh. Let's bring in the green. Where is my Pear Pizzazz? Here it is. Now I'm going to take the marker point. Okay. And then I am simply going to, let me put my scissor here to hold that kind of down. I'm going to go ahead and flick my ink, the tip of the brush against the marker lid. You can hear it and you can see those drops to give me a speckled, you see the speckles at all on the card. So that's how you can get all those fun little speckles and spots. So I'm going to put one here. One here. Oh, but you need to be straight. You are not straight. There we go. And then this one, oh, but you need to be shorter. You need to be about the same length as those, right? And then this one's going to go in right there. There we are. So I've got 3 designer series paper ends, and then this guy's going to go right here with dimensionals. The way I laid those out, a little strange. That's okay. Oh. I'm going to put one right there. Right there. So there we have that, and you can see this little specks of that, and I'm going to do another one of the specks because I would like it to get on the oval. Let's put that pair of scissors back down. I would like to get on the oval It has a mind of its own, but you can see I have a bit of the sprinkles on the oval now too. I love that. All right, so let's take a look at this last card. Remember I said I didn't have the embossing folder for every single card. This one's going to go just like so. The designer series paper is cut at 3.5 by 5.25, I believe, is the size of the front. Now I've done that, which is beautiful, but I'm going to bring in this floral piece right here. And that's going to come in on our card just like so. And then my beautiful radish It's going to stand up just like that. And again, we're going to do 5 on this rectangle. Excuse me. So if you're not interested in signing up a demonstrator, I would appreciate any orders you might want to place. The host code that's there, as well as the link below, is attached to that host code. But you will want to definitely join. I have a blog post that I've linked for all the benefits that you receive, as well as this starter kit here that I'm suggesting for you, your $175 for $99. So there we have that. Now I wanted to bring in and say, what sentiments am I going to use? What am I going to say in my note cards? I've decided that I'm going to use our charming sentiments and something fancy as well. So now I'm not going to do any sentiments on the front. I'm going to do those on the inside. So let me bring the bird back in as well. I am going to bring in and say thank you. And for this, I just brought in my Memento ink because I don't need to use the StazOn now because I'm not watercoloring it with it. And I also just find that StazOn sometimes can be rather sticky, and it gives me a little trouble sometimes not totally adhering. So now I think I'm going to do thank you in the artichoke card. Thank you. And in the radish card, that radish card really looks to me about just for you. That one is a photopolymer one. Just for you. Oh no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I've got a plan. Let's go ahead and stamp on this right here, just for you. I did not stamp down well. And I'm going to just do it right here. There we are. And then you can grab, oh, how about my double oval punch that's sitting here? And I'll put it right inside, and I will punch out this oval, just like so. Just for you. And then we'll put that right on top of my mess up. And there you go, just for you. I love it. So, for our beautiful bird, I'm going to go to nothing fancy, just love would be lovely. But I think I will go with happy birthday maybe. Let's see. Maybe with deepest sympathy. Bird would be very nice for that. Let's see. Deepest sympathy. Deepest sympathy. And this fun blueberry one. I'm going to go back to Eclectic Garden, sending bright wishes for a happy day. Lovely. Sending bright wishes for a happy day. So the Eclectic Garden has a couple of great sentiments. Just don't know what I would do without you. Thanks so much. Sending bright wishes for a happy day. Those are fantastic as well. So as we talk about our 4 note cards, we've done some beautiful things here. We've used the Stampin' Write markers to simply just color our smaller images. We've used the Stampin' Write marker to watercolor by putting the ink coloring directly onto a clear block. Boy, it would be nice to put some little embellishments on these too. I love it. And see how you don't necessarily need another layer. Just use some designer series paper to accent your projects. We use the watercolor Stampin' Write markers to do splatter technique onto our card front. You know, splatter technique would be really fun on this one too, but I'm going to hold off. And we used our Stampin' Write markers just with themselves. We used our blending brush to pick up the ink right off the block to give this one a hue of that yellow around. The other thing you could do if you wanted to is you can use your Stampin' Write marker to color. I'll show you here on this one. I'm going to show you on the bird. You can come in and use your Stampin' Write marker on the raised part of your flowers, and you can color right on the embossed raised images if you wanted to color those raised flowers, just like so. And I could continue to do that. I could even color the inside, or I can just do the outer lines that are raised up here, just like so. And I could keep it going. I could bring in and do some different colors. I could bring in my blue and do a little bit of blue flowers. We'll say these that are coming up here. Could come around and do those on all the raised part of the flowers. That's kind of pretty. Tying that bird and the designer series paper. There we are. Well, you get the idea. Stampin' Write markers are just fabulous, and I would suggest again, it's a perfect thing to put into your starter kit. The $175, maybe you have lots of stamps, you've got lots of paper and designer series paper, and you just would love to have some other tools. The Stampin' Write markers in the case is a fabulous thing to add to your collection. And then any open line stamp set. Well, there we are. Look at that. I just added some great detail by using my Stampin' Write marker tips to just go along and color the outer edging of the embossed painted posies. How fun is that? Love it. All right, lots of techniques with the Stampin' Write markers. Thanks so much for stopping in at my recorded Saturday stamping video. I hope you enjoyed the techniques. I hope you consider being part of my team by getting yourself these fabulous, marvelous markers. 41 great Stampin' Up! Colors. plus a basic black in this beautiful case that sits so nicely on your shelf, I don't think you could say no. So check out the links below. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. And until next time, happy stampin'!